I've got 7 months until I turn 60, and I'm determined to get into the best shape and health that I can before then. I'm going to share with you 12 things that I'm going to do to get me there. Hi, I'm Anneli, and I want to stay as fit and healthy as I can, and I want to enjoy my retirement down the road. I want to be able to travel and do fun things. So these are things that I think will get me there fastest. So if you're embarking on some kind of a health journey, make sure that you do your research and also seek the advice of a healthcare professional. My views on health have changed over the years so much, partly due to the science as it evolves, and also because of my 30 plus years as a nurse and the chronic illness and all kinds of disease that I've seen. So it has affected my viewpoint on what is healthy. And I need you to help keep me accountable. I started these things 3 months ago, and I've already started to see improvements. And I haven't even been very consistent. I feel like this is my one kick at the can here again. I've said that over the years, but in reality, our health slowly declines, and in some cases, unfortunately, really rapidly declines, and I'm trying to prevent that. It's never too late to get in shape, though. So whatever you can do to move closer or to take one step towards health is better than nothing at all. It does move the needle. It does make a difference in your life. All right, so let's go through the 12 things that I'm going to be doing. Number one is deep breathing in the morning or some type of meditation. I prefer to come outside here on my porch and do that. And, the summer is ending, so it's not as light out as early as it used to be. But I still like coming out here because earlier I wake up, the quieter it is. And whether it's meditation, whether it's praying, but taking some deep breaths in the morning helps your body wake up. It helps me relax, helps de-stress me. And usually what I like to do is take some deep breaths. I was taught this by a physiotherapist because I had some tightness in my back. And I know this from my years working in the intensive care unit and dealing with ventilated patients and learning all about the lungs and the respiratory system, is that we don't actually use all the capacity in our lungs. A lot of us aren't breathing deep enough, so we're not expanding the lungs. They're not getting, all the lobes of the lungs aren't expanding like they should or could. So she showed me how to put my hands on the side of my ribs, and instead of just taking deep breaths where you take a deep breath and sometimes you're belly breathing or you're just filling up your lungs, what I'm trying to do is expand my lungs sideways so I can feel my rib cage expand sideways. And it feels good to do that a couple of times for me, and it does help relieve some tightness that I feel in the back around the ribs on that side. And then I just do regular breathing, and there's all kinds of information online or people that teach breathing techniques or meditation. But that's what I like to do first thing in the morning to start the day off right. And I'm really pushing hard to do more gratitude type things and thinking about the day ahead and what I want to accomplish, and just reviewing it, and not reviewing it, but thinking of all the positive things that I want as outcomes. So that's number one. This is something that I've been inconsistent with over the years, but I know that when I do these things, it makes a big difference. Number two is lifting weights or any type of resistance exercise that you can do. I actually started this already 14 weeks ago. I've had to take some breaks due to illness, and you know what happens is when you stop doing something, it's hard to get back on the swing of it. So I've had a little bit of time off, but even with the time off, I have noticed some changes. Like, I'm actually getting stronger. Whether I'm seeing physical changes or not, I am able to lift heavier weights. I've been following a routine, and I've been trying to keep it up 3 times a week, and I'm going to actually commit to really sticking to it rain or shine and whatever else. And I know it's hard. Sometimes you don't have a setup like I'm lucky enough to have, but it doesn't matter what you do for the resistance. You can use bands that are super portable. They're way more affordable. You can use things that you have around the house, whether it's jugs of water or cans of beans, whatever it is, anything to start adding some strain on your muscles. Muscle burns way more calories and energy than fat does. So the good thing about that is if you're somebody that loves to eat like I do, you're burning more calories just by staying alive. So that's a good thing. Make sure though that you have somebody that can kind of train you or give you guidance, because the one thing you don't want to do is injure yourself if you're new to lifting weights. So if you have somebody in your life, or if you can afford a trainer or afford a gym where they can make sure that you're doing things safely and you're in the correct form, that's really, really important. Because the last thing you want to do is sustain an injury at this point. So I'm going to keep going 3 times a week with weightlifting, and I'm progressively increasing my weights because that's how I've been able to see some real improvement and real increase in my strength, and I'm so happy about that. Number 3 that I want to do is do more cardio. This is super important for your lungs and your heart, and I was very happy when my husband gave me a spin bike for my birthday, and I love it because I can use an app on my phone and I can have a coached spinning session. Plus it helps that it's synced to my Apple Watch, and it's Bluetooth, the bike and my phone, and I can see my heart rate, and the whole thing is monitored. And I find it really effective and keeps me going. And sometimes I do watch a YouTube video or watch videos while I'm doing it. But it's really important that we not only do all this work to build muscle, but we should look after our lungs and our heart too. And I really have noticed a big difference because I live on a hill. And when I walk up to the top of the hill, I'm not as out of breath as I used to be. And I have more energy to keep going at a faster pace. So I want to stay really consistent with that because it's been kind of on and off since I got the bike. But already I'm seeing improvements, and that's just twice a week for 20 to 30 minutes. Number 4 is walk outside. My goal is to walk outside at least 5 times a week, and usually what happens is this is happening during my work week. On the weekends, I don't seem to have trouble being very active. I get lots of steps in because I'm moving around and doing things, but my job has gone from working 12-hour shifts in emergency to quite a sedentary community job where I'm sitting talking to patients or at my computer. So I have my lunch break, and that's when I've been going out for walks. I used to do about 2 kilometers. Now I'm aiming for 3, and I've been managing that for the last little while. And I wanted to be consistent with that. Rain or shine, I want to be out there walking. And all I need is an umbrella or a hood. But the other thing that is really, really good for you is walking out in nature. And we have a lot of forests where I live, and I've got a lot of trails. And when I do go for a walk outside, when I'm at home, I'll wear my barefoot shoes. And I especially like going in the forest trails because you're actually walking on the dirt paths, and it's a lot more interesting to me, and the time passes quicker, and I enjoy it a lot more. I did a video interview with Mari from midlife in Finland, and we talked about the benefits of nature, and I'll put the link to that video down in the description below. Number 5 is limit my intake of alcohol. I'm working on this so that I'm not drinking wine as often. Alcohol is just empty calories. It really has no benefits to your health. And actually, it can be detrimental if you're drinking too much. So I'm trying to cut back so I'm not drinking during the work week, or, just because I do like my red wine. So I want to be cognizant of, not just consuming empty calories and, causing more damage to my health than, positive effects. Number 6 is maintain 40 grams of fiber per day. I've already been doing this for years because I am plant-based, so I don't have too much trouble getting my fiber in. But I wanted to share that it's super important because it also helps with cholesterol levels. You need to, your body makes bile, which breaks down fiber and things like that, with cholesterol from your body. So eating increased fiber helps maintain lower levels of cholesterol or decreases cholesterol levels in your body. Plus, it's good for your gut, helps your keep you regular so that you're not having issues with constipation and things like that. But don't start with huge, large quantities. You have to increase fiber slowly. I wanted to share that I have been trying to eat more oats and things like that. And I found this Bircher recipe that Jamie Oliver had on his site. So I will link the video that I made where I made my Bircher. It's different than theirs, and I really love it. And if you've seen any of my videos, I talk about how I love savory versus sweet breakfast. But this one is not savory, but I don't know, I'm craving it. So I want to, if you haven't tried it, give it a go if you're interested in a different version of an oatmeal. Number 7 is eat more protein. This is what I really need to work on. I did not eat enough protein, and as I've evolved, I've realized that I need to eat more protein. It's good for your body's healing if you have any wounds, any conditions, but it's also what you need to build muscle. And as a woman in midlife and menopause, I need to make sure that I'm not losing muscle, that I actually maintain or gain muscle. So I eat things like tofu, a lot of tofu, a lot of beans and lentils. I don't like tempeh. I've tried it in different ways and still I haven't found a recipe. If you know of one, let me know because I really would like to eat that. But it's a fermented tofu and fermented foods are good for you. But I just haven't found anything that I like yet. And the other thing I've added is BCAAs, which is branched chain amino acids. So it's got 3 of the main amino acids of 21 amino acids that your body needs to build protein, because they're the amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So I've added that on the days that I work out. And I do have a protein powder. I will list it down below that I like. 'Cause I don't like a lot of protein powders. Some of them give you gas, and some of them I don't like the fake flavors and tastes. So this one I can tolerate, and I usually have it with some water. If I'm really know that I'm not going to have enough that day of protein, I'll have it with water and add blueberries to it or something, because I also don't eat a lot of berries. So it helps, get my berry content into my body as well as the protein. Number 8 is eating whole foods versus highly processed, nutrient lacking foods. And I think I'm doing pretty good on that. I've been really focusing on eating less processed foods, meaning really highly processed foods like pastries, cookies, even if they're vegan, because then they just don't have enough nutrition in them. They're just all, things added to them to make them taste good, but they're not nutritious. So I want to avoid those as much as possible, because my downfall is potato chips. I could eat a bag of those easily. So I don't buy them because I will eat them. So instead, I'm just focusing on having lots of vegetables with whole grains, quinoas, all kinds of rice, even farro. I have make bowls with them. I add nuts and seeds and all my veggies in there. Bowls are one of my favorite foods that are quick and easy to have on hand, because if I have some type of grain and some vegetables, I can usually put together anything. 9 is sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night. I am already doing that. Thank goodness I stopped working those night shifts and all the 12-hour shifts, because I was so lacking in sleep before, and you really need sleep for your body to heal itself. Plus, it's the time when your brain gets rid of the byproducts of all the energy that it uses up during the day and when you're awake thinking. So you really need the sleep to make sure that you don't get other illnesses. You get a lot more hungrier when you're lacking in sleep. You get a lot more brain fog when you're lacking in sleep. You get a lot more forgetful, and you can end up with chronic illnesses because sleep is that important. So I have been working on that, because one of the things too is if you're having alcohol, it disrupts the sleep cycles. And one of the things is that it's not just about the sleep, not knocking yourself out. You actually need to go through all the stages of sleep, and you do that several times a night for it to be a healthy, good sleep. So passing out from having too much alcohol is not a good sleep. So I'm already working on that, and I'll just continue on that. Number 10 is stay hydrated. I have to work on that. I did really well. I'm inconsistent with it, but I need to get a new water bottle. My one that I had for years finally is gone, and I knew how much water it held, so I could calculate approximately how much I was drinking a day. I did a Water is Life challenge. Was it last year? I'll put a link to that if you're interested in it. I sent out an email for 4 weeks. It was only a few times a week, but it gave you information, facts about water, and kind of different things that you should know about water intake. The first week, it was about how to calculate how much you should be drinking. And from there, it was 4 weeks, and the people just received the emails and they followed along, read them or not. But it was to encourage you to drink the amount of water you need, because water is so important that not only does it affect, your signals that you get if you're hungry or not. Sometimes just thirst will make your brain thinks you're hungry and you start eating when it's really you're dehydrated. The other thing is, if you're even slightly dehydrated, it affects how your brain works. You can end up with that brain fog that you don't want. You can have, just trouble concentrating. So hydration is so important to keep us healthy. It helps eliminate a lot of waste from our bodies in different ways. And that's something I have to really work on, because I want to make sure that I'm doing that appropriately if I'm going to be working out and doing all these other things. Number 11, avoid saturated fat. I started doing that a few months ago, and I'm going to continue it. Even though I'm plant-based, you can still get saturated fat in fried foods, in coconut oil, palm oil, and if you're eating a lot of beef, chicken, they all have saturated fat. So the reason I don't eat saturated fat, because those are known to cause heart disease and other illnesses. So I try to avoid saturated fat, which is mostly from animals. It is high also in coconut oil and palm oil. So no more of those fried cauliflower wings that I would buy when I was at a restaurant. No more of those, because those are just deep fried and who knows what kind of fat. And I've cut back, because not only do I like potato chips, I like French fries. So I've cut back on those too, because that's deep fried and who knows what. And that would be a lot of saturated fat that I don't want in my body. 12 is I'm going to continue with my HRT, my hormone replacement therapy. I strongly believe that women should look into this, and I wish I'd known this when I was in my 30s and 40s, because you can start replacing some of the hormones that start declining when you're in perimenopause. It has a huge impact on your heart health and on your bones. If you're lacking in estrogen, you're so prone to osteoporosis, your cardiovascular system, your heart, your blood vessels get damaged over time. We really need estrogen in our bodies, so I am on that, and it's not a just one and done. It's being tweaked over the years. I've just recently added a little bit of testosterone, because women also make a lot of testosterone in our bodies when we're younger, and it goes down too, and then we cannot build muscle. It's like all of a sudden after 57, it was like I just became soft and flabby, and no matter what I did, if I worked out, I didn't see any progress. Now I have more energy with that tiny bit of estrogen that my body used to have. I'm able to see muscle again, and yes, definitely we need to learn more about this, because I'm going to continue doing this. I think it'll keep me healthy a lot longer. Then I have a bonus one for you. This is about using an app to track what you're eating. I did this, and I used several different ones, and I'll try to link some in the description that I've used. Chronometer is one, macro macro factor is one, because what they do is, I think I paid for them. I might have used a free one, but I paid for it for a few months, and I've done this on and off a few times, because I wanted to see not about the calories I was eating, about if I was getting all the nutrients I needed. I was looking at my calcium, my magnesium, I was looking at protein. Turns out I had hardly any protein. I really needed to up that. Low in calcium and a few other things. So I did that just to get an idea of if I was eating enough to get the right nutrients in. And it really opens your eyes. And sure, it's a pain in the butt trying to weigh or measure all these things before you eat them. But if you do it for a week or two, I did it for a few months on and off. It makes such a difference when you're looking at your food and choosing what you're going to eat. And I think it's helped me figure things out a bit better. So I would try that for the nutrition aspect of it versus just the calorie counting aspect of it. And if you're interested in finding out about barefoot shoes, because I really think that's an important part of keeping us healthy so that we have our balance, we don't fall down as we age, watch this video next, because this one I explain all about the benefits of using barefoot shoes, especially for women when you're over 50. Have a great week. See you next time. Bye.